Welcome back to the next video in the series. And this video, we're going to go ahead and create our query so that we can load our particular job that has this ID. All right, so first of all, let's go ahead and go to our playground. All right, let's go to a new tab and let's go ahead and create our query. Okay. So go ahead and type query and we're going to call it job, and it's going to take in our ID, which is of type ID, which is required. All right. We're going to take our job, okay, which requires an ID as well. And we're going to pass the ID in. And let's go ahead to our variables. And let's say ID equals, and I just copy and pasted it from here. All right, and then we need to do our query. So I'm just going to copy and paste in what you guys need. And it got that specific job. All right, so let's go ahead and just copy this query. And let's go to our GraphQL folder, go to queries, and then we're going to create another export. So we're going to export const load underscore job equals GQL, and we're going to save it. All right, so that's that query. So what we need to do now is let's import useQuery from Apollo client, and let's import our load job from going back a folder to GraphQL queries load job. All right, so just like in the jobs file, we're going to say const, we're going to destructure equals use query. All right, and we're going to be passing in our query, which is load job. And then one thing that it requires, remember, is the ID. So as a second parameter of our useQuery function, we're going to say variables, and that is an object. And remember, we pulled our ID out of our params from React router. We're just going to pass that ID in, and then we're going to say data loading an error. Okay. And let's make sure we get our data. There goes our job. Okay. All right. So if loading, we want to return our loading component. Let's go ahead and import that. And then we need to import our error component as well. If error component, and then we'll give it a message of there was an error while loading the job. Okay. And then we need to pass the data in. So Let's give another div data dot job. So we got to make sure that there's a job. We're going to say and. So if there's a job, we're going to pass it into our job component, which we haven't created yet. And in that, we're going to pass our job. Data.job. All right. All right, so let's save that. It's probably going to fail. And then let's go to our component. Let's create a new file, or a new folder actually, and call it job component. All right, and then we'll create a new file. We'll say index.js. Oh. New file, index.js. We can exit out of this. RAFCE, job component. Going to destructure our job on our job.title. All right, we'll put that in H1 tag. And then let's import our job component. Refresh, and then load it, and then loaded our job component. All right, so that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and complete our job component. This is the final page and the final video of this series. So that's it for this one. See you guys in the next one.